Mike Tirico, Greg Olson, glad you're with us. This is the rookie Ryan Fitzgerald to do the honors. And off we go from Charlotte. And a decent return there. He'll get this up just shy of the 30. The Saints led out by the rookie, Tyler Shough. Interesting story. Off injured in college, the third quarterback drafted out of Louisville with pick 40. Greg, he is now the QB for New Orleans.
Here's a guy, Mike, that has a really interesting college football journey. I mean, he is as well seasoned, I would say, as possible. Like, think about this. He played 7 different seasons of football at the college level. So he's got ideal size, he's got strength, he's got all the physical stuff. A little bit of a pocket passer, but he has the arm and a little of the mobility that you need to make plays and play quarterback at this level.
On play action, it's Shough. He'll get this out wide, and it'll be a short pickup. That's not enough for the first down.
Well, let's give some credit to the big boys up front in the trenches. They knew that blitz was coming. They held up just long enough that the quarterback could get that ball out safely and results in a completion.
Trying to avoid the early 3 and out, they face 3rd and a yard. And it looks like he's got enough for the first down. Let's wait for the mark. Yes, that run, that's enough to move the chains.
First down. 1st and 10.
When done correctly, Mike, this is just such a high percentage call. It's kind of hard to choose another play off your call sheet. It's impossible to defend. You can know it's coming, stack the box, whatever you want to do. But most of the time, they'll just drive forward and pick up the first down.
On first down, Shough. Flush to his left. He'll run again. He'll get a dozen out of that one. Scrambling his way to a first down.
A gain of 12 yards.
Anytime a defense decides to blitz, Mike, they're always rolling the dice, and we see why. You bring that extra defender, and if he doesn't get home, that quarterback not only can escape the pocket, but there is a lot of room to operate downfield.
On the ground for the first time, this is Alvin Kamara. And a determined run there inside the 40. It's a gain of 9 yards.
Really nice explosive play there on the ground. And tell you what, for these fans sitting in the stadium, they're not used to seeing their home team pushed around. So continue to be physical at the line of scrimmage. Mix in the runs with the pass. And if they can continue to generate these big explosive runs, I don't think they need to go away from it.
And he'll get a couple of yards, and that's good enough for the first down.
It's possible they could have tried to be a little bit more aggressive on second down, knowing they had 3rd and inches in their back pocket. But I don't think anyone's going to complain. Pick up the first down, extend the drive, see if you can go score.
On first down, they'll stay with Kamara on the ground. And he'll plow forward for a gain of 4 yards.
He's tackled at the 32-yard line. A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6.
From the 32-yard line now, here's 2nd and 6. They're going to go right back to Kamara. And that one shut down pretty quickly. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
We spent so much time, Mike, talking about these defensive backs and their ability in pass coverage, but when you also have a defensive back that can make plays in the run game, especially behind the line of scrimmage, man, those guys are just so hard to find. That was a heck of a job here by this guy.
Now Shough on 3rd down. He'll try and get there on the ground. And the rookie gives himself up there at the end. That's a sign of a guy who's learned it quick. Picking up the first down.
First down. 1st and goal, New Orleans.
The defensive line has to do a better job of contain rushing, especially on 3rd down. Mike, you can't rush one-on-one. You have to rush as a unit. Keep the quarterback in the pocket, and when you let him get loose, this is what's going to happen.
And he is crushed in the backfield. Defenders firing through. Shut it down right away for a loss of yardage.
brings up second
A
and
loss was
goal.
definitely not something they had
14-yard
accounted or
line.
budgeted for in this spot. And now, I think it really limits what do you feel comfortable dialing up here on second and goal.
In motion is Hill. Chuck to throw on second down. Here, a short one to Taysom Hill. And they'll get about 5 yards closer, but now it is third and goal.
Brings up
The
third
drag route is such a good way to get the ball early into the hands of your tight end and take some pressure off the quarterback and give him an easy completion. The size and the athleticism allows them to try to pick up more yards, but do it after the catch.
He is hit before he can get rid of it, and down he goes.
And these are the type of splash plays that can have an impact, especially as the game goes on. So offensive line has to do a better job to make sure that they have this protection shored up and that this isn't a sign of things to come.
Here's Blake Groupie for the Saints, a field goal try. This a 31-yard attempt. Groupie's kick is good. And the Saints are out to an early 3-0 lead.
A lot of times as an offensive player, you come off the field, you're not thrilled to end a drive like this with a field goal. But I think in this case, you can label it a success. You were able to operate your offense. You were able to quiet this crowd just a little bit and come away with an early lead.
On the return, here's Trevor Etienne. And he'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. So the Panthers led out by their quarterback, Bryce Young. Shaky rookie year, but the back end of his second year, Greg, very effective for the man who was the #1 overall pick out of Alabama in 2023. To the right, caught by Sanders. And he's brought down after a gain of 6 on first down.
That quarterback called that play in the huddle. That ball was only going to one guy. He was the first read, the second read, and the check down. And it was called to perfection. They got the perfect look and led to a nice game.
Look at play action with Young. Oh, in trouble, and down he goes. Ryan Brzee gets it for a loss of 7. And now it's third down.
Nice job bouncing back there on second down. First down, they gave up way too many yards and put them in second and short. But now they can gain some of that back with that sack and brings up third and medium, and the likelihood of getting off the field just went up.
It is third and 10. From the gun, it's Young. He finds the big tight end, Trimble. And he's down inside the 40-yard line. A big play for the Panthers. 35 yards.
Well, they've come out swinging here on this opening drive through the air, and that's exactly what they wanted to do. Generate some early chunk plays and try to get some points.
They'll run here. The former Canadian track star, Chuba Hubbard, will take it. He'll try to get back to the line, but it's not happening. Gonna lose a yard.
This play here, Mike, is just all about the get-off of the defensive line. Watch how fast they go when that ball is snapped. Nowhere for this running back except to go down for a loss.
On second down, Young. Oh, got him again the second time with a sack on this opening drive. Chase Young. He gets in there to drop him for a big loss. And now it's third and long.
The defensive coaches, they preached all week, Mike. They have to have relentless pursuit of this quarterback when he tries to extend the play. So often it results in a great play for the offense and a big pickup. This time, because of that pursuit, it leads to a big loss.
Work to do following the sack. It is 3rd and long. Tremble comes in motion. Out of the shotgun. Young. Check this down. That's Hubbard out of the backfield.
Complete to Chuba Hubbard. A gain of 3. It's 4th down.
On 4th down, Carolina going to send out Sam Martin to punt. Back deep for the Saints, it's Rashid Shaheed. And no return forthcoming. It's a touchback and will come out to the 20-yard line.
At their own 20-yard
The
line.
Saints offense ready to possess the football for the 2nd time. They were able to turn that opening drive into points. 3-0 our score as they start again with a 1st down. He'll move it ahead for about 3 yards. J.C. Horn coming in from his quarterback spot to make the tackle.
Horn on the tackle. It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 23-yard line.
From the 23, here's 2nd down and 7. Operating out of the gun, this is Shuck. Catch is made there on the left side by Cooks. And he's out of bounds. They're going to mark him at the 35. It's a pickup of 12. 1st down, New Orleans.
1st and 10.
Every once in a while, it just comes down to you need somebody in the huddle to just make a play, and it wasn't a whole lot fancy here. The quarterback just dumps the ball down, a quick underneath completion, and then really it's the yards after catch that did the rest, and that's what it takes. You're not always going to have the perfect play. You're not always going to dial up the perfect play against the perfect look. Sometimes players need to make plays, and that was a good one there.
1st down, New Orleans.
This offense has to be thrilled, Mike, with the success they've had here on the ground in this opening quarter. Now as the rest of the game unfolds, everything in the game plan continues to open up.
Finds room inside the 40. And he's going to be brought down, but not until he gets inside the 35. A gain there of 23 yards. It's good for a Saints 1st down.
1st down.
We had a feeling coming into the game that they were going to get this guy plenty of touches, and you can see from this early success why. The defense is going to have to make some adjustments here because they have had no answers thus far.
Olave is the motion man. Here is Shuck on 1st and 10. And he'll just get rid of this. Smart play to throw it away, and that'll set up 2nd down.
Nice example there, Mike, of the quarterback just being smart with the ball, understanding it didn't quite develop the way he had intended. Throw that ball out of harm's way, live to play another down.
Throwing on 2nd down, Shuck. A throw on the move is caught. And this takes him into the red zone. He's brought down inside the 20-yard line. 13 yards on the catch there. 1st down, New Orleans.
At the 18-yard line.
Off the play fake. Here's Shuck. And the rush gets home. He'll go down. They got him. Play is stopped for a moment. It is an injured Carolina Panther on the field. And as the medical staff looks him over, we'll step aside. Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. From the gun, it's Shuck. They'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
So So I really like the decision, Mike. This is a rookie quarterback making more veteran decisions, and I think in his growth process this early on in his career, those are really good signs, because how often do we see these rookies still think they're back in college, they're the best player on the field, and they can make every throw, even if it's not there. You're not going to get away with that consistently in the NFL. Throw it away. Really nice job here by the young quarterback. No real surprise here, Mike. I think with the way their defense is playing, they decide to just play it safe, short run, get the ball a little bit closer for their kicker here on 4th down, and just make sure they end this drive with points.
Here comes Blake Grupe for this field goal try. This will be an even 40-yard attempt. He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And the Saints, on the strength of 2 field goals, take a 6-0 lead.
So it's not exactly what you're looking for when you set out on a drive, but at the same time, you don't want to come away empty-handed either. So in this case, they'll take those 3 points.
From the 6, here comes a return. They'll get this up past the 20. That's where they'll set up shop. The Panthers offense ready to see what they can do on their second possession. They'll start out 1st down and 10. Off the play fake. Here's Young. He's going to run it. And he's going to be taken down at the 37. You can't beat a running quarterback. Gain of 16 and a 1st down.
Panthers, 1st down. 1st and 10.
They got to do a better job of keeping the quarterback contained in the pocket all week, Mike, against mobile quarterbacks. You talk about rushing as a group. This time they get a little undisciplined with their rush lane integrity, and he makes them pay.
On play action, Young. That's taken it. It's Xavier Leggett. And he's taken down inside the opponent's 35. They are cooking to begin this drive. This play going for 30 yards.
Those are the explosive pass plays that this team is going to continue to mine all day. And you can see pre-snap, the quarterback loved his matchup. He allowed his receiver to work downfield. Perfect throw, and now sets them up to try to see if they can finish this drive off with some points.
And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
You know, Mike, what separates the really elite defensive edge players from everybody else is not only their ability to rush the passer. That's what everybody focuses on. But, man, the defensive ends that are good in the run game, those are the guys that never leave the field.
Another run here with Hubbard. And the defense there to meet him. They'll hold him to 2 and bring up 3rd down.
Nathan Shepard brought him down. A 2-yard pickup makes it 3rd and 8.
To throw is Young. He's got the 1st-round pick, Teteroa McMillan. And a good job here defensively. They did not let him get away. He's well short of the 1st down marker.
And it seems like he just cut that route a little too short. He's got to get more depth on the initial stem, and that way he makes sure when he catches the ball, it's beyond the sticks.
His kick will split the uprights. It's good. And the Panthers are on the board. They cut the lead to 6-3.
So anytime an offense comes off the field after settling for 3, you always have to take the good with the bad. In order to get down there in field goal range, you had to do something positive to move the ball. But at the same time, how are we going to be able to finish these drives and convert for 6 the next time we get down there?
He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. Now out comes the New Orleans offense. They're ready to take over once again. They lead by a field goal as they go to work with a 1st and 10. to throw is shut. He bought as much time as he could, but he will finally be taken down.
This offense came into this drive hoping to extend their narrow lead, Mike, but instead, after first down, they find themselves in second and forever following that big sack right out of the gate.
In motion goes Cooks. On second down, it's shut. A throw left side there, not going to find the target. Incomplete.
So I'm not really sure if it would have mattered, Mike. I don't think they were going to have enough to pick up the first down either way, but at least if that ball's completed, third down's just a little bit more manageable, because now after the incomplete, they find themselves in third and pass.
What can they do here? This is third and forever. Here's Camara. And they'll wind up getting around 6, but he is stopped well short of the first down marker. It is fourth down.
The defense is willing to just give up that run every single time. I mean, they're going to leave guys as far back as they can to protect the sticks. And in this case, flow to the ball, make an open field tackle, get off the field.
The Saints lining up in punt formation. Trevor Etienne is back deep for Carolina. This field now ahead, and he lost the football. Special teams has come up with the recovery.
You know, it's so hard to say what goes wrong on these bad snaps, Mike. You know, sometimes it's mechanics, sometimes it's concentration, sometimes, frankly, it's just bad luck and things go sideways, but he puts a little bit too much juice on it, ends up out of the punter's reach, and now they're heading back to the sideline knowing they just put their defense in a really bad spot.
And he'll work his way down inside the 40. J.C. Horn coming in from his cornerback spot to make the tackle.
So these, Mike, are the body blow runs. They're not big gains, they're nothing fancy, but they really set that physical tone for the rest of the game where now a good play caller can use some of these early runs to set up something a little bit bigger down the road.
They'll go again here with Camara. And they bring him down, but not until they get inside the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 10 yards. It's good for a Saints first down. It's been a game of field goals so far. The Saints out on top and will return to Charlotte in a moment. It's the Saints with the football here as quarter 2 begins. Set to go now on 1st and 10 as we are ready to get back underway. This time the sledding becomes a little more difficult. They're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage.
Every team makes an emphasis on winning first down, but as a defense, when you're able to take them back for a loss, second and long, you can really become more of a pass-centric defense and really tips the scales into your favor.
Chuck. A dive and a catch. Incredible. A nice throw from the second-round pick. It'll get him a first down.
And that's what you call being fearless, going over the middle. That's not everybody's cup of tea in this league, Mike. Some guys love to operate outside the numbers, and some guys understand their role is in the middle of the field, and not only to make that catch, but to do it laying out. It's a big-time play to secure that one.
This one will be sniffed out, blown up in the backfield.
Well, the best screenplays, of course, you want the offensive lineman out in front of the running back. They act as his escort, his lead blockers. But what you can't afford is for the defenders to be in the backfield and get to the running back, because those offensive linemen, they can't help him at all.
Now Shuck. Here's a screen coming for Camara. And that one's not fooling anyone. They were on that screen from the start, and a loss of yards on the play.
And it's third
We call them
down.
safeties because they're usually the last line of defense, but not here. On this play, he's up there at the line of scrimmage attacking the offense, and he takes him down for a negative play.
Third and long. Here's Shuck. Taking off, he'll try to get there. And he's going to slide down with the first down inside the 5.
It's a gain of 21.
They've got it. It'll be first and goal after a pickup of 21.
First down. First and goal at the 4-yard line.
There was a lot of questions surrounding this quarterback about whether his style of play from college would transfer to the NFL game. Well, his ability to create with his legs certainly has here today. We see it with his ability to escape pressure out of the pocket, and he's able to pick up the first down.
Looking to throw. Oh, they're on him in a flash, and he lost the football. The Panthers have it. He's inside the 40, inside the 20. And he returns this all the way. Touchdown, Carolina. Greg, what a terrible play for the offense. You're trying to gain some momentum. Here you not only lose the handle of the ball, you hand the defense 6 points.
And Mike, how often do we see that when a player loses the ball, his confidence is not far behind? And I think in this case, that's where the coaching comes in. Put your arm around him. Hey, we're giving you the ball in this next possession. We believe in you. They've got to get this player back into the flow of the game after that back-breaking turnover that led to the defensive touchdown.
Panthers 10, Saints 6. Ryan Fitzgerald.
Following the touchdown, it is Fitzgerald to send this one away. This taken in at the 8-yard line. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. The Saints offense and veteran Alvin Kamara set to take over once more. And as a play caller, when you've got a guy who's running like this, you lean on him. And your offensive line has had big opening after big opening and big numbers in this first half. And nowhere to go on that one. They lifted him up and threw him down behind the line.
Brought down back at the 24-yard line.
To the air is Shuck. This offensive line just has no answers right now. It's another sack.
We're not even at halftime yet, Mike. I mean, this pass rush has completely taken over the game. It's just sack after sack after sack. This is going to be a long day for this offensive group if the O-line doesn't figure something out here in a hurry.
From the gun on third down, Shuck. To the right side to Olave. Pretty good effort on that one. It will not be enough. It's going to bring up fourth down.
Just a really good play design that time, Mike, from the offensive coordinator. They match up one of the most explosive playmakers in the NFL with a hook curl defender, and he's just not able to match up with one of the best route runners in the league.
Fair catch taken, and they're going to start right at their own 20-yard line. The Panthers offense getting set to get back to work. The lead sits at 4, so they'll try to add on to that. This drive begins with first and 10. He bought all the time he could, but he's going to be taken down as he couldn't get a throwaway.
If there's any silver lining for this drive, Mike, it's the fact that at least this sack occurred on an early down. So I guess technically they have a chance to claw themselves out of this hole, but that's the third sack of the game. And this defense doesn't show any signs of slowing down.
Throwing on second down, Young. That one complete to Leggett. Well, that helps. It's going to be a much more manageable third down, getting some good yardage on that second down play.
It may not have moved the chains, but with what they were dealing with there on second down, that's a really nice pickup because now it opens up your play call sheet on third down where it's a little bit more manageable.
From the gun here on third down, it's Young.
These pass rushers, they love these situations where they can just pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. They knew they had a chance to put an end to this drive, and they didn't let it go to waste.
Here's Sam Martin now, as he's on to punt for the second time. To return, it's Shaheed. And that's a nice job of getting to him, making sure that return was not going anywhere. The Saints offense and veteran Alvin Kamara set to take over once more. They'll have very good starting field position as they set up past the 40. On first down, they'll start out with Kamara. Down the sideline, past the 45. And they will finally track him down inside the 40-yard line. Great way to start the drive. A gain of 20 and a first down.
It's definitely nice to have one of those bruising, punishing backs to kind of help wear down the defense. But I'll tell you what, you can give me a flat-out electric runner like this guy any day of the week. He can turn on those jets, get in that high gear, and he is gone.
And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line. What a good choice to get out and run. That's a pickup of 18 and a first down.
First and 10 at the 21.
The defense is going to have to come up with a plan for this quarterback using his legs, Mike, or it's going to be a long day. They knew coming in he was a threat, but I'm not sure they thought he would be this effective this early.
They'll come up here, first and 10. In motion goes Cooks. Out of the gun, here's a give to Kamara. And he surges forward for a gain of about 5.
At this point, we're going to need two hands to count for how many yards he's averaged in this one, Mike. But unfortunately, it just hasn't been enough to overcome the deficit here at this stage of the game.
They'll work now on second and 4. Again, up the middle with Kamara. And he's into the end zone. Alvin Kamara. Touchdown, Saints. That a big score, Greg. They continue to get points, but after not getting touchdowns, this has to feel really good to this offense.
It really does, and I think anytime you can build on your confidence that now you know the rest of this game, you can finish these good drives. Coming away with 2 field goals, those are wins for the defense. So now a win for the offensive side of the ball, and got to see now if you can keep this rolling throughout the rest of this game.
Groupie able to add the extra point. And the Saints go up by a field goal as they lead it by 3. After the touchdown, it's Groupie to kick this one away. This one taken at the 7. And he'll work this one past the 25 to right about the 28-yard line. The Panthers offense getting those helmets back on, ready to head out for their next possession. We'll try to establish some tempo. We'll start this one with first and 10. That into the hands of Hubbard. And he'll be taken down up at the 40-yard line. That one good for a dozen. And a very quick first down.
The ability to generate explosive plays is the greatest correlation with the ability to score points. So every defense nowadays is trying to say, cannot let them throw the ball over our head. What does that do? Gets you a little bit more depth in your drops. Makes it a little bit easier for some of these check down pickups.
And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
So there's multiple factors, Mike, that make blitzes successful. So, of course, there's the initial design. Can you attack the vulnerabilities of the offense's blocking scheme? And then in this case, the next phase is the timing. You can see this linebacker knew exactly when that ball was going to be snapped. The offensive line had no chance to identify and pick him up, and he's able to bring him down for a loss.
And nice work after the catch. He stopped a little short of the first down marker, but it is a pickup of 9.
There's a lot of ways to get the ball in the hands of your running backs, and it's not always by just handing it to them. In this case, it's a simple check down, picks up a good gain, brings up 3rd down.
3rd and inches. They'll go with the sneak, and he'll get it back to midfield. That's it. No gain on the play.
Gain on the play. And the Panthers, 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
A fresh set of downs to work with. It is 1st down and 10. They'll go play action with Young. They go sideline, and he stays in bounds. Got the feet down in time. It's a 1st down. They'll stop it here. We have an injured Saint on the play. So as they look at the injured player, we'll take a timeout. From the 39, here's a 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Young. That's right side, taken in by Tremble. That keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a 1st down completion of 7 yards.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 31-yard line.
From the 31, here's 2nd down and 2. Young hands it to Hubbard. Finding room to the 20. And they'll finally run him down, but he takes it inside the 10-yard line. That is a gain of 22, and it sets up 1st down and goal.
Sometimes all it takes is that one key block to spring this back. He's just so good in open space, and man, that was a heck of a run, and it sets up 1st and goal.
They'll run with Hubbard, and he's going to be taken down. Not so easy this time. They drop him back behind the line. It's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd
These are the
and
impact
goal
plays that this
at the
linebacker is
11-yard
capable
line.
of, Mike. Not only dissecting and determining where the ball was going, but then to shoot through the line of scrimmage and make this tackle for a loss. That's a big-time play by a really good player.
Off the play fake. He'll look to throw. Open man, that's Renfro.
Recognizing the blitz is just the first step in the process for a quarterback, understanding who you can account for with the protection and then who you can't account for. That's where your hot receiver comes in. He points to his receiver who the defender they're hot off of. That guy comes, gets the ball out of his hand, and results in a completion.
Tremble comes in motion. Out of the shotgun, Young. And he'll take it on in. Chuba Hubbard. Touchdown, Panthers. The quarterback, with all of his eligible receivers available, uses the back out of the backfield that time, Greg, to take it to the end zone.
And when your running back, Mike, is a valid threat in the passing game, man, it just gives you so many options. And in this case, it was the running back that was the open target. He's able to put the pass on the money. Easy 6 points.
On now is Fitzgerald for the PAT. The kick is good. And the Panthers make the lead 4. It is 17-13.
Saints 13.
Following the touchdown, it is Fitzgerald to send this one away. Safe kick taken at the 5. And they'll bring him down just shy of the 30-yard line.
First and 10.
The Saints offense and quarterback Tyler Shough heading back out to the field. And this defense has to be searching for answers right now. It's been his ability to make plays on the ground here in the first half that has really given them fits. They'll start this one on the ground with Camara. He's fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage, but can't get there. Dropped for the loss of a yard.
It's a loss of 2.
I can promise you that is not how they wanted to start this drive, Mike. I mean, to get blown up at the point of attack, there was just nowhere for the back to go on that run.
Last play went the wrong way. It sets up second and long. It's second down and 12. Operating out of the gun, this is Shough. He'll step up and run.
Well, let's give credit here to the coverage unit, Mike. There was nowhere to go with the ball for that quarterback. He had no choice but to just tuck it down himself, and he's able only to pick up a short gain.
Third down and 9. Throwing is Shough. Throwing off his back foot, and it's taken in. And he'll be stopped short of a first down, and that will necessitate a call to the punt team. It's fourth down.
Even though they gave up that last completion, Mike, that's a really good drive there for this defense. I mean, from the beginning, on those early downs, keeping them from staying ahead of the chains, put them in a tough third down situation, and now it brings up fourth down, and looks like they're going to get off the field.
But he cannot get away. Great job down there to hold him to a short return. The Panthers offense and Bryce Young set for their next possession. From the 25, they'll go to work. First and 10. Back to throw. Young. And he can't get away. They rally to the football defensively. Bring him down for no gain.
No gain on the play.
What an advantage it brings a defense when you have cornerbacks that are such willing tacklers. It just brings an extra element to the ability to defend the entire field. And this is a great example here why.
Second and 10. They'll go again with Hubbard. Had to push through that one tackler, but he is wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage.
5-yard line. A gain of a yard brings up third and 10.
Here's a third and 10. Now Young. Going for it all. That is incomplete. Taking the shot there as we reach the 2-minute warning.
Sam Martin
On comes the punter now,
Carolina.
as he is on to punt for Carolina. And the receiver with a fair catch, taken successfully, and that's where he'll turn it over to the offense.
At their own
The Saints offense and veteran Alvin Kamara set to take over once more. They'll start it here with a first and 10. In motion is Hill. On first down, Shough. Here a short one to Taysom Hill. He's close to a first down to gain a 9. Nice pitch and catch on first down.
Just take what the defense is giving you. When you can stay ahead of the chains and just take these easy pitch and catch throws underneath, hitch routes, quick game, now it puts you in a lot more favorable down and distances to eventually attack this defense a little bit more downfield.
He'll step up and run this. So now the Saints will use the first of their 3 timeouts. And they'll have a chance to talk things over after picking up that first down.
First down. First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
From the gun, it's Shuck. His pass taken in by Shaheed. And they're going to work this down inside the 45.
A gain of 12 yards.
12 yards on that hookup. First down, New Orleans.
And now you can see they're really getting in rhythm in this 2-minute drive. Now, after that last completion, Mike, they cross midfield. Now the mindset goes to, all right, we got to come away with some points. They've got a quarterback who's in complete control, and they got to see if they can finish this thing off.
12 was nice last time, so they did it again. Another 12-yard pickup and another first down.
First and 10 at
That last completion's going to go a long way towards at least finishing this 2-minute drive, Mike, with some points. You're already in field goal range, so now the idea is continue to work the clock down, take a couple shots at the end zone. You want to get points, ideally a touchdown, but either way, you have the ball last before the end of the second quarter.
A gain of 5 brings up second and 5 at the 26-yard line.
Second and 5. On the zone read, it's Shuck. He'll get this inside the 20, a nice run. They're in the red zone. It's first down.
A gain of 10 yards.
Man, when it works well, the zone read is a thing of beauty. It just adds another dimension to this offense, and if the defense doesn't get a better plan, they're going to continue to do it all day.
New Orleans, third and final timeout, and they'll get a chance to catch their breath over on the sideline. Here comes Blake Grupe for this field goal try. This from extra point range, a 33-yard field goal attempt. Grupe's kick is good. And the Saints cut the deficit down to 1.
Nice job there securing points with that final play. Of course, they would have loved to have come away from that possession with a touchdown, but I think they're going to be happy with 3 going into the break.
Just 1 second remaining in this first half, and they will kick it away. And no chance to return this one through the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
Young to throw on first and 10. And that is caught on the right sideline, but it's out of bounds, says the official who was right there. Not the most accurate pass. It's incomplete, and it's second down.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much. Welcome into the Orlando studios. Scott Hansen with you on an abridged halftime report. Good competitive first half. This game kind of has a punch-counter-punch feel to it, as reflected on the scoreboard. Tight game going into the second half. Can either team pull away? To find out, let's go back to the stadium and our broadcast team, Mike Tirico and Greg Olson.
Scott, thank you. Both teams trying to find the right formula as they come out for the second half. It's about to get underway. Certainly a tightly contested first half, and you'd expect more of that here in the second half. A one-point game as quarter 3 begins. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. The Panthers offense ready to get going again. They'll have it first in this third quarter. Their lead is just a point as they begin it on this drive with first and 10. On play action, Young. This one broken up. It's incomplete. The defender right there with him. It brings up second down.
It leads to second.
There was no hesitation from the quarterback. From the jump, he knew where he wanted to go with that ball, but still leads to an incompletion. They're just still not quite on the same page.
On second down, Young. That is intercepted. Picked off by Alontae Taylor. And he's going to give his guys a short field to work with and a chance to take the lead.
So we saw in the first half, Mike, they were willing to take some risks. It allowed them to build this halftime lead. Now the opposing sideline, they're looking to fight back. They're looking to cut that lead down. That's what that coverage seemed. It looked like they baited that quarterback to force that errant throw and lead to that turnover. Now it's their offense coming back on the field with a chance to cut this deficit.
Kamara going to get it on the zone read here. Not much to speak of on that one. Maybe a gain of a yard. It's second down.
In order to be successful as a run-heavy offense, Mike, it's so important that you remain really efficient on first and second down. The last thing you want is to be in third and pass, and it really throws off what you feel like your strengths are. So now you get down here in the red zone, it's got to be touchdowns. These long, sustained drives on the ground, you kick a field goal, that's a win for the defense. Well, the defense gets a rare win. We've seen this ball carrier have his way on the ground pretty much all day today, Mike, and give credit to the defense. They were able to get back in the backfield with some penetration and bring them down for a loss.
Now Shook on third down. He's got it about the 8. And the Saints are going to be set up with a first and goal on a pass play that moves them down to the 1.
And the Saints, first down. First and goal, New Orleans.
Sudden change. So you find yourself defensively a little bit on your heels. Your offense just turned the ball over. Now you've got to go out and make a stand. Well, so far this offense has moved the ball pretty quickly, but can they dig in and at least force a field goal?
Trying to find a crease in that mass of humanity, but he is going to come up short.
In these goal-to-go situations backed up on your own goal line, Mike, what they teach the defense is it's your job to establish a new line of scrimmage, and that's exactly what they did here. Watch the push they get. The offensive line goes backwards, and they take the ball carrier down for a loss.
They'll motion their tight end, Johnson. Kamara. And this is not going to do it either. Stop for no gain. And just like that, it's third and goal.
I give that defense all the credit in the world there, Mike. And offensively, you find yourself first and goal from the 1. You have to find a way to get that last yard and put the ball in the end zone. There's no excuses to miss a touchdown.
And that is incomplete.
Down this close, third and goal. I think that's a really good decision. Give your coach the ability to make a decision on fourth down. Do you take the points, or do you keep your offense out there and go for 6?
A field goal would give them the lead, but they're going to keep the offense out there. They're going to go for this on fourth and goal. They'll run for it. It's Kamara, and he barrels his way into the end zone. Alvin Kamara, touchdown Saints. That is second touchdown of the afternoon.
What a big call there. It's fourth down. A field goal gives you the lead, but they clearly want more. Mike, we see so many teams going more towards the fourth down. Keep the offense on the field. 3 points don't get you the win. And this shows so much confidence in this offense by this coaching staff.
So now, with the lead up to 5, they're going to go for 2 and try to extend it out to 7.
The Saints will line up.
They'll try to run with Kamara. And this time they stop him short of the goal line. Touchdown a moment ago. No 2-point conversion to add on. as they come up empty. After the touchdown, it's Groupie to kick this one away. The return starts from the 5. He'll be brought down right around the 25-yard line. Here's the Carolina offense now as they head out to take over for their next possession. The deficit is 5, so they'll try to put a drive together here, and they'll begin it with 1st and 10. Here's Young. That one down the field, but it is incomplete. Chuba Hubbard, the man he was looking for.
It's now 2nd and 10.
And it'll be 2nd down.
It's been a bit of a pedestrian game for this quarterback and ultimately this passing game here today, Mike. And I know they all would have loved to connect on that deep throw. I think that stat sheet would have looked a whole lot different, but just a little off in their execution and leads to an incompletion.
Check this down. That's Hubbard out of the backfield. And they'll be set up now. Up past the 40 with that one. 18 yards on the pickup there. It's good for a Panther 1st down.
And this is what modern-day running back looks like in the NFL. They want to be able to activate these players in the passing game, no different than they do with the tight ends and the wide receivers. And you look out there and you have a...
And he's going to go down yet again. He has been under fire all game long. Cameron Jordan. He gets into drop-in. It's a loss of 8.
If they win this game, this pass rush is going to be a big reason why. The 5 sacks speak for itself, but their ability to disrupt the timing of this offense, that can't be overstated.
A 2nd down throw for Young. That one pinballs around, but it is incomplete. Teteroa McMillan was the intended receiver. Now it's going to be 3rd down.
For the most part, he's been very accurate with the ball. I mean, he's completing over 60% of his passes, but because they haven't been able to get any big explosive plays, continue to push the ball downfield, hasn't really translated on the scoreboard just yet.
Short one there, caught by Tremble. And he'll be stopped short of a 1st down, and that will necessitate a call to the punt team. It's 4th down.
Nice job here by the defense. They understood this quarterback is looking to push this ball downfield past the line to gain, and he's got no choice but to check it down short to the tight end, rally tackle, and brings up 4th down.
Punting time for the Panthers, set to kick this one away. As he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And how about that? Nice return there, picking his way up past the 35-yard line. The Saints offense and veteran Alvin Kamara set to take over once more. And you have to imagine the defense is saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the 3rd quarter. A nice pickup, moving it across the 40. We'll give him 6 on that play.
Taken down at the 43-yard line. A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
From the 43, it's 2nd and 3. Now Shuck. Throwing left side there, but it is incomplete. He was looking for Brandon Cooks with that pass. And it's going to be 3rd down.
And when you look down the field, Mike, there's just really nobody creating any real separation. And instead, he tries to give one of his guys a 50-50 contested catch opportunity. But with the coverage as tight as it was, it just falls incomplete.
going to have the first down. What great work after the catch to extend the drive.
That's good for a Saints.
Nothing a quarterback loves more, Mike, than being able to pick up a first down without being forced to push the ball downfield and force it past the line to gain. He settles for the underneath check down. He's confident that his receiver is going to pick up the rest after the catch.
They'll work the middle here with Camara. And he's able to push through the tacklers to pick up 6.
He was brought down at the 45-yard line. A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's 2nd and 3. They're going to go right back to Camara. And that'll give him the first down. Tackle made after the pickup of 3.
I think this second down call, Mike, they were hoping that at worst they had themselves set up for a 3rd down and short. But there's no need for 3rd down. He was able to get enough on 2nd, and they get a fresh set of downs.
1st and 10. Looking to throw. Here is Shuck. And they'll get about 4 here as he is taken down.
It's not the big play they were hoping for, but first down efficiency, staying ahead of the chains, is what every offense is trying to find, and it brings up a manageable 2nd down.
So, from the 37, here's 2nd and 6. Shaheed in motion. Taysom Hill working free downfield. And they'll move this ball way down into the red zone, inside the 20-yard line. That's catch 3 just on this drive. And it gets his team a first down.
New Orleans.
Really nice job there, Mike. All they're trying to do is just clear some space for the tight end and then let him go to work in the middle of the field. Now they're set up nicely inside the red zone.
They're at the 17-yard line now for 1st and 10. It's a give now to Camara. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
And up until this point, this is not something that we've seen a lot of. His running backs had a really nice day. So in this case, this rep goes to the defense.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. To throw is Shuck. Got it into the hands of Olave. And they'll get him down inside the 5-yard line. It's 1st and goal coming up.
Well, it goes without saying. You want to play wide receiver in the NFL, Mike. How well can you change directions? How fast can you get your body from one direction to another? And when you can cut like this guy, I'm not sure how you guard him.
In motion is Hill. They'll run here with Camara. And he is going the wrong way. Tackled back at the 7.
Really nice job here defensively, not only to get the penetration and to clog those run lanes, but they're able to take him down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
Now from the 7, it's 2nd and goal. Now a designed run with Shuck. Ooh, some hitting going on now. He was rocked right at the line of scrimmage.
This defense doing a great job here facing this goal-to-go situation, especially on that last play. 2 stops down, and now the pressure really ramps up for this offense as they face 3rd and goal.
In motion is Hill. Shuck gonna throw it on 3rd and goal. That one taken in. Brandon Cooks. Touchdown, New Orleans.
And it really just comes down to the protection. You're sitting there 3rd and goal. You have to give your quarterback the opportunity, Mike, to work through all of his progressions, and you need time to do it. Then it just comes down to making the right read, touchdown.
On comes Blake Grupe for the PAT. He's got it. The Saints will extend this third quarter lead.
Saints 29, Panthers 17.
After the touchdown, it's Grupe to kick this one away. Now return coming from the 7. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. The Panthers offense starting to trot out for this next possession. The deficit is double digits, so work to do as they begin this drive with 1st and 10. This drive begins with a run by Hubbard. And that's good run support on the edge. Nice tackle out wide. It'll hold them to a gain of 2.
On the tackle. 2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Ball on the 27. Here's 2nd and 8. To throw, Young. He takes off. A gain there of 24 yards. It's a Carolina first down.
This is an element to his game that we don't necessarily spend a lot of time talking about. He's not known as a traditional runner at the quarterback position. But when he has some space like he had here, he is more than capable of not only converting first downs, but picking up big chunk plays.
Brought down at the 48-yard line. A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8.
From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd and 8. From the gun, it's Young. Gets it away quickly, and it's caught. And they'll hold him to a gain of just a couple and sets up 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd and 6.
Throwing is Young. He's got a man. That's McMillan. And they're going to move this ball inside the 25-yard line. They get 24 on that one. It's good for a Panther first down. Give up the middle, it's Hubbard. And it's going to be 1st and goal coming up. Tackle made at the 5-yard line.
16 more yards. That's another Panthers first down.
And this offense just continues to chew up yards and get first down after first down. And defensively now, you find yourself a little bit on your heels. You're defending a goal-to-go situation. They need to step up here and get a stop.
Took a little long to develop. They stop him for no gain at the 4.
At the 4-yard line. It's a gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and goal.
Inside the 5, it is 2nd and goal. Hubbard. And he'll lose yardage here. The defense standing strong in the red zone. They drop him back at the 10.
The idea here on 2nd down is in the event you're unable to score, at least put yourself in a 3rd and manageable goal-to-go situation. But now after taking a loss, it really changes their approach here. And I think on 3rd and goal now, they got to put this ball in the air.
This the 8th play of this drive, and it's 3rd and goal. Out of the shotgun, Young. He pulls it in around the 5. And the drive stalls out as he's brought down And the field goal unit likely to come on here on 4th and goal. On 4th down, on comes Ryan Fitzgerald for the Carolina field goal.
22-yard
This about as short as you can get. He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And the Panthers are able to put up 3 and cut into the lead. So now, after the field goal, Fitzgerald is back out there to send this one away. He fields it at the 8. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The Saints offense and veteran Brandon Cooks getting set for this next possession. The cushion is 9 as they begin this drive with 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Shuck. That one out wide for Kamara. And no chance to turn and go. That one good for just a couple.
2 yards.
So anytime you decide to blitz, the hope is that the secondary can hold up long enough to allow the extra pressure guys to get to the quarterback. But when you don't get to the quarterback and he's able to get the ball on time and in rhythm, there are holes in the back end, and they're able to pick up the 1st down.
Left side into the hands of Olave. And he's going to get this one out to the 43-yard line. A pickup of 15 in the air. It's good for a Saints 1st down.
You can see this connection is just starting really to pick up. They're seeing the game through the same set of eyes, and that is the job of the receiver. What is my quarterback expecting from me? Where does he want me? Be there on time, and it leads to big gains like this.
Chuck going to try to run it himself. And a nice run there. He'll be stopped just shy of a 1st down. A pickup of 9.
And we're starting to see the fruits of their labor paying off here. I mean, they've used this run game to throw a bunch of body blows throughout the entire contest. And while some of the carries didn't result in much at the time, it's clear they're starting to take its toll on this defense.
On 2nd down, here's a run with Kamara. And he will keep the drive moving. Gets the 1st down. Nice gain of 5.
A gain of 6. That's good for a Saints 1st down.
So, Mike, you know by now my philosophy on 3rd down. If it was up to me, I don't even want to be in 3rd down. I want to get all of my conversions on 1st and 2nd down and be able to stay in those neutral down situations. So it's exactly what they do here. They lean on the ground game and pick up a fresh set of downs. So they go with the 1st down run, hoping to just get them some positive yards and get themselves into a good 2nd down situation. But now they find themselves in 2nd and long. So the more you give defenses the opportunity, Mike, to defend you one-dimensionally. So in this case, we're only playing you in the pass. It stresses your protection, it stresses your play caller, and ultimately, it stresses your quarterback.
Tiger Shock on the scramble. Nick Scorton on the tackle.
So we are through 3. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. This a must-stop for this defense. Facing 3rd and long. That's deep for Olave. This one down the field, but wind up incomplete. Chris Olave, the intended receiver. And it's going to lead to 4th down.
Little miscommunication there. Now brings up third down. It just doesn't appear that the quarterback and the wide receiver were on the same page on that last pass.
The Saints will punt this one away as they try to play the field position game here, protecting a fourth quarter lead. This is going to get out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. The Panthers offense ready to get back at it. They'll begin with 1st and 10. Get this drive started on the ground. It's Hubbard. And some space opens as he's brought down following a gain of 6.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
They'll work now on 2nd and 4. Leggett in motion. Throwing on 2nd down, Young. That into the hands of Hubbard. And he's going to get this to the 37-yard line. 18 yards on the catch and run will move the chains.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Things certainly look a little improbable right now, Mike, but I wouldn't say impossible. I think they've got to capitalize on this possession to pick up some points. Every single possession right now is priceless. Points, possessions, and then they got to get some defensive stops.
And a good run there. Gonna get him 5 yards.
Second down at the 43-yard line. A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
From the 43, here's 2nd and 4. Another run here with Hubbard. And he is not going to get away. Might have gotten a yard, but it will set up 3rd down.
It's a gain of 2. Brings up 3rd and 3.
Now Young. Open man, right side. He's got it. And he's taken down inside the opponent's 35. Able to get loose after the catch for more yardage. That'll be a pickup of 21.
1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
Okay, so now you pick up that 1st down, Mike, but now there needs to be a sense of urgency. You know you need to score twice. So this one, ideally for the offense, results in a touchdown. But either way, this first score of the 2 needed needs to be fast, because you need every possession you can here late in the 4th quarter.
It'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7 at the Saints' 31-yard line.
From the 31, here is 2nd down and 7. Here's Young. That's taken in, and it's Rico Dowdle. Oh, nice open field tackle there. He could not get free. They're going to stop him for no gain.
3rd down and 7.
Really well done here by the defense, Mike, executing this zone defense, and they've got to be able to pattern read. You're not just going to drop back to a spot and just play like a robot. Based on what the receivers do off the line, the defenders have different rules of where their zones move to. Well, they had that one dialed in right from the jump, and they were able to stop that play really before it got started.
The pass intended for Xavier Leggett. And it's going to be 4th down.
I think as the offense comes to the sideline now, the quarterback and his wide receivers need to get together and say, hey, guys, what are you seeing out there? How can we find some open targets? Because on that last down, there was nowhere to go with the ball.
And this one, right down the middle. It's good. And they are indeed back within 1 score. So the field goal makes it a one-score game here in the fourth quarter as they kick it away. They're trying to pin him deep. They'll take this from the 3. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. Now out comes the New Orleans offense. They're ready to take over once again. They work with a 6-point advantage as they start this drive on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's shot. A throw on the move is caught. And they'll be set up now. Up past the 40 with that one. Give them 14 on that play. One play, one first down.
A lot could go wrong anytime you decide to put the ball in the air here late in the fourth quarter as you're trying to run out the clock and protect this lead. But at the same time, I like that they haven't gone super conservative. Just handoff right, handoff left, and it just turns into tackling practice. So I like the balance of making the defense defend everything, because right now, possess the ball, protect the ball, and ultimately just run the clock out. We've seen this back have his way with this defense all game long, Mike. He's up over 100 yards for the game, but this time the defense said, we've had enough. They sold out to stop him. They hold him to no gain.
In motion is Hill. Chuck to throw on 2nd down. A pressure there got to him. He's hit as he threw it, and that pass falls incomplete.
And this game almost just flipped completely on his head. You find yourself with a lead, just trying to milk the clock away in the fourth quarter, and that's a gift. I mean, that defender just flat out drops the ball, and if he's able to secure that takeaway, this game looks very different for this offense.
That deep for Olave. And on 3rd down, that ball incomplete.
I think the second that ball left his hand, he wanted to pull it immediately back. I mean, he is lucky, Mike. That ball didn't end up going the other way. He almost gifted them a short field and maybe even some points.
And now here comes the punt team, as he's on for the 5th time this afternoon. Now fair catch is made, and it's just inside the 15-yard line. The Panthers offense and Bryce Young set for their next possession, and he has been masterful so far leading this offense, keeping the mistakes to a minimum, on point with his passes, generally one step ahead of the defense all game long. He is met and dropped. A couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage, too.
Anytime the running back is forced to chop his feet in the background and never get to top speed, you know that play's not going anywhere. And that's exactly what the defense was able to force here by getting penetration. Great job there, stopping this play before he had a chance to even get started.
Last play went the wrong way. It sets up 2nd and long. It's 2nd down and 12. And dump this down to Hubbard. And that'll go for a gain of 7. And it's going to set up 3rd down.
Well, this is a great example of the old saying, Mike. You never go broke taking a profit. And give credit to this quarterback. I know it's not the big explosive play he was looking for, but getting the ball into the hands of his running back, allow him to pick up some extra yardage after the catch.
From the gun here on 3rd down, it's Young. He manages to get the throw away and completes it. And he will have the 1st down. The drive will continue after a pickup of 8.
1st down. 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Critical 3rd down conversion there, Mike. Now brings up a fresh set of downs. You find yourself here trailing in the 4th quarter. They got to go down and score, and they got to score fast.
Young hands it to Hubbard. Has an opening past the 40. And he's going to be taken down. Give him 14 on that one. It's a Carolina 1st down.
Remember this one thing, Mike. It is not how well or how often you run the ball in the NFL. It's when do you run the ball well in the NFL. And I think that's what a lot of these offensive play callers are starting to realize. Can you run the ball well in critical moments of the game? More important than how many gross yards you run for.
And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage at best. Might have even lost a yard there.
Brings up 2nd and 11.
Number one rule of run blocking for the offensive line is you don't want to allow penetration. It just doesn't give your running back any angles to cut and find the hole. It's exactly how it played out here. They've got to do a better job holding the line of scrimmage and not getting pushed back.
That one taken in right side by Leggett. And that'll go for a gain of 7. And it's going to set up 3rd down.
Just a simple hitch route. Certainly nothing special there or anything downfield, but the idea is the more of those you throw and those efficient passes, the second the defense moves up to take it away, that's when you go for the big ones.
Here's the pistol snap to Young. He's got his man. That's Leggett. And the defense can't come up with a stop there. Gain of 7 and a 1st down.
Another Panthers first down. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
This has been a really impressive drive, Mike, really from the start. And this is something defenses want to force offenses to do. Methodically work their way down the field, but they've been highly efficient, and now they get another 1st down.
There he goes, inside the 30. Strong running there. He brings this down inside the 25. A gain there of 24 yards. It's good for a Panther 1st down.
Big hole up the middle. The interior of this offensive line did a great job clearing some space. The back saw it quick, and he hit it. And next thing you know, he was in the secondary for a big pickup.
He'll be taken down after a gain of 2. They'll stop it here. We have an injured Saint on the play. As the athletic training staff looks at him, we'll step away for a moment. Look him up on a 2nd down and 8. We're going to run right over center with Hubbard. And not much there. Good defense. Held to no gain.
All the qualities that make a good safety are seen on display on this play. Speed, pursuit, and then the intensity and the strength at the point of contact for the tackle to keep this ball carrier to no gain. That is a complete safety play.
Here's Young to throw. He's got it at the 7. And he will easily pick up the 1st down. They've got 1st and goal coming up.
That's a really important pickup there on that last completion. Not only does it set up 1st and goal, but allows everybody in the huddle to just take a deep breath. We're no longer in this frantic offensive possession. Let's get our best play. Let's make sure everyone understands what to do, because we know we need to finish this off with 6 if we can. And
that is caught side of the end zone. Tommy Tremble. Touchdown, Carolina. The game-time touchdown here in the 4th quarter, and a chance to take the lead with the point after.
Mike, the sideline's going crazy with that late score. But they still need this extra point to take the lead here and see if they can hang on to this 4th quarter lead.
Fitzgerald now for the extra point. The kick is good. Important one as they take the lead here in the 4th quarter.
Saints 29.
So now playing with the lead after that 4th quarter touchdown, trying to kick it back the other way. This will be returned from the 6, and he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. The Saints offense ready to get back at it. They'll see if they can put something together here, beginning with 1st and 10. Now a designed run with shot. They get 13 to begin the drive. It's a 1st down.
13 yards on the play. That's good for a Saints 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Mike, I think every offense would love to be able to call designed runs for their quarterback, but it's so dependent of who that quarterback is. And for this team, to be able to have that guy behind center, it just adds a different element to what they can do on offense.
And that keeps them ahead of schedule. That's a 1st down completion of 7 yards.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 47-yard line.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd and 2. Out of the gun, they're going to run with Neal. Trying to find some place to go, but nothing developing. Tackled behind the line. It's a loss of 1.
2nd and 2. You're thinking, I got 2 downs to get 2 yards. How hard can that be? Well, against this defense, it turns out to be a big challenge. They take you back for a loss of 2, and now you find yourself on 3rd down.
3rd down, and here is Shuck. He's got his man. It's Hill. And they'll move this ball way down into the red zone, inside the 20-yard line. It's a big play when they needed it the most. 37 yards.
And the Saints 1st down.
Pretty easy to see why he continues to be a main focal point for this offense throughout the entire game. That play not only extends the drive, but now they find themselves in plus territory and hope to come away with some points.
And he's going to be stuck well behind the line of scrimmage. A play going absolutely nowhere.
I'd like to see that running back be a little bit more decisive with his cut, Mike. You can see he was a little hesitant, and once you're late making that decision, you just kind of get strong laterally. Great job there by the defense, and he has no choice but to take that loss.
On 2nd down, it's Shuck. Back to the middle of the field and caught by Cooks. And he'll be very close to a 1st down. Won't quite have enough, but now a much more advantageous spot.
If you're going to give him this much time to scan the field, he's inevitably going to find an open man downfield like he does here. That's a great job remaining patient and letting that play develop.
Shaheed in motion. They fake the jet sweep and give it up the middle. And he's going to have the Saints 1st down. At least it would appear that way. Didn't get it by much, but yes, they do give him the conversion on 3rd and 1.
8-yard line.
I really like this play call here, Mike, on 3rd down. Yes, it is the 4th quarter, but you've got plenty of time remaining. So keep running your offense, stay with what's worked, and they keep it on the ground and pick up a 1st down.
Operating out of the gun, this is Shuck. And he's in! Chris Olave. Touchdown, Saints. What a game this has been. Back and forth we go, and that 4th quarter score changes the lead one more time.
And we've seen the lead go back and forth, Mike, and now the question is, can they get a stop? Can they find a way defensively to hang on to this lead and get themselves this big win?
Significant moment here for the Saints as they will try the 2-point conversion.
Will line up for the 2-point
They're
conversion.
trying to pick this up with a run. And he is not going to get in. Stop on the try for 2. The lead remains right where it is.
I don't love the call. I mean, all week you practice these gotta-have-it plays. Every call sheet, Mike, has 3 or 4 plays that are down here in the goal line that could also be used as 2-point plays. I think to simply turn it around and just hand the ball to your running back Gotta be a little bit more creative. That's a big missed opportunity.
So now playing with the lead after that fourth quarter touchdown, trying to kick it back the other way. This one taken at the 7. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The Panthers offense and their back Chuba Hubbard set to come back on the field. They'll do so with 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Young. Looking left side is tight end Tremble. And they'll be set up now. Up past the 40 with that one. Remember, he had the touchdown catch the last time they had the football. Here, he's got a first down.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard
So,
line.
2 minutes to play here in the second half. Greg and I back for the conclusion in a moment. Plenty of time, all 3 timeouts left. It's 1st and 10. They'll drop to throw. And that could be the dagger. It's intercepted. Picked up by the former Sooner, Danny Stutzman. And the Saints are right back in this one.
It's not often, Mike, that everything breaks right for this type of return off of an interception. But boy, is it beautiful when it does. I mean, look at the defenders just flip around and become blockers, trying to spring their guy to the house. Great athleticism, some great moves on his part. I mean, he's going to have some of his offensive teammates looking over their shoulder for their position.
The Saints offense back onto the field for their next possession. And this game not quite in hand. And he barrels his way into the end zone. Devin Neal. Touchdown, New Orleans.
And that's exactly how you stress all week, finishing a game. Get the ball and leave no doubt. But that late touchdown, Mike, that should all but just seal this victory away.
Groupie now for the extra point. He gets it to go, and the Saints will open it up even further here in this fourth quarter.
Panthers 30.
After the touchdown, it's Groupie to kick this one away. Now, here comes a return from the 9. And he'll be taken down right at the 29-yard line. Here's the Carolina offense now as they head out to take over for their next possession. Here's 1st and 10. Send a man in motion right. Young to throw on 1st and 10. Quick throw, taken in. And he's brought down after a gain of 6 on 1st down. The Panthers will take their first timeout, and they'll get together prior to this 2nd down play. Out of the shotgun, Young. Check this down. That's covered out of the backfield. And they'll whistle him down, but not before it picks up a 1st down after a gain of 7.
We're starting to see this so often, Mike. The days of just having a running back who you're just going to turn around and hand it to, yes, that's still a critical part of NFL offensive football, but their ability to be used in the passing game, just one more thing for the defense to have to defend. Make them go sideline to sideline, line of scrimmage to the end zone. Defend every blade of grass, and a really good running back goes a long way in doing it.
Now a timeout for Carolina. That's going to be their 2nd. Stoppage with 65 seconds remaining. One timeout at their disposal, but the more pressing need, they have to score twice. It's 1st and 10. Hubbard. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
Carl Anderson on the tackle. 1-yard gain. Brings up 2nd and 9. At the Saints' 26-yard line.
They'll come up now for 2nd down. Now Young. He'll step up and run this. Now they are in business. Inside the 15-yard line. The Panthers, they're going to burn their 3rd and final timeout. Clock will stop with 35 seconds to go.
13-yard line.
Space getting tight here, down to the 13-yard line. They work 1st and 10. Throwing is Young. And that's going to wind up incomplete.
This is one of those situations that plays directly into the hands of the defense because think, Mike, they know this offense has to be one-dimensional. This has to be a pass. So what do? They bring in extra defensive backs. They clog up the back end. And at the end of the day, there's just nowhere for the offense to go with the ball.
On 2nd down, Young. Headed left. This offensive line just has no answers right now. It's another sack.
Even when it seems like they're putting a nice drive together, Mike, they just can't seem to escape this pass rush. It has been relentless all game long, and they get them here again.
This is a tough spot. 3rd down and 10. Here's Young. That one broken up in the end zone. It's incomplete. What great work just to get those hands up there. And now it's 4th down.
So this is where it gets really challenging as an offense. You find yourself trailing late in the game. The defense can play you one-dimensional. They know it's a pass-first situation, so extra defensive backs, the zones and the coverage are a little bit tighter and cloudier, and he's having a hard time finding any open windows downfield.
Here we go. One final play. And that is incomplete. They had their chance. They took it there. Look, they're trailing late. Got to let it fly. This will wind up a turnover on downs. Victory formation, defense powerless to stop. And that should just about do it. So this was a win for the visiting Saints. This was a game where both offenses were up and down the field, marching the ball at will, matching each other point for point. In the end, got a few more defensive stops than their opponents did. That is the difference in this one. So that'll do it for us. For Greg Olson and our terrific team behind the scenes, I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Follow us on X at EA Madden NFL. So long, everybody.